Hello and welcome to the last part, I suppose the last one of the Elm Goose-Driven tutorial. And in this part we will control our animation with MIDI. We'll try. This time I almost haven't prepared, so I'm not sure if it will work at all. If it will not, I will just not publish the video, so there's no problem. I've changed the spiral renderer a bit so that it unwraps those images during the animation. This is mostly thanks to this rotate, not mostly, just only thanks to this rotate function, which takes current index and multiplies it by sinus of time. And what I plan to do is instead of time use the value from the knobs of the MIDI controller. And here I have the MIDI controller, the three knobs you should see. There are more, but for the sake of experiment we will need just three. Also, I've put JavaScript. It's just 70 lines of JavaScript which is not perfectly written, but it does the thing. It translates the MIDI messages the controller sends to your browser, since there is a MIDI support in most of the modern browsers. Here we check if it is, and it just puts the on every MIDI message, it just puts it in the global variable named values. We'll try to change it to some handler which will send the value to our port. So where do we start? I want to demonstrate that we actually get the values from the controller. So it's not connected now. Yes, and the only thing I did also is to include this script in the index.html. So if I turn it on, and yes, we got the connection. This is the MIDI clock, I suppose, which just synchronizes the beat. And if I turn something, we see changes. The clock keeps clocking, ticking, but this the difference here in the messages is that for clock it's 15. The first part is the, what is it? It is the comment. So the clock is comment number 15, and I turn them now and nothing changes. and when we get the value from the knob, it's the comment 11, and the last number is the value. The highest one is 127, and the lowest one is 0. And if I change the knobs, this number changes, which is not. So this one is 80, this one is 81, and this one is 82. So let's try to do it. And what is the first step? I think we'll try to get the message in some handler here. If something was changed in the on the event, but we need this data processed. This way we subscribe to it. Let's try to also have some global variable. Which will be null. But if it is not null, let's make it just, and it's the worst JavaScript I have ever written. No, I'm kidding, of course. I did worse, but usually I try to make it beautiful, but not this time, because it is not needed for the tutorial. We will just, for now, pass the all the values we got here. File list, the comma, the channel, the type, the node, and the velocity there. Since we process them, and in the index HTML, I'll try to assign the global, not to be mistaken. Let's just copy paste the name, global MIDI handler, assign it to some function, and just check if it is called on the event. Why didn't it reload? Called? Okay. And I think if we change the values, it will also be called. So the values here are comment, channel, node, comment channel type, node, and velocity. So it will be comment, channel, type, node, and velocity. And we only need, I forgot which, comment 11, as I recall. Comment, should it be the number or the string? 11. Let's look the value. If it is 11, again we have to reset it. 11, and only when I rotate the knobs. So let's lock the node as well and the velocity. Good. So we have the value and the number of the knob. Then in Elm, I will change it to the port module. We have no ports yet, but we will in a second. We will name the port on MIDI knob. It will accept the number the ID of the knob, I think, and the value. We may just type alias knob ID int and velocity int as well. Oh, and we were not able to receive them that way because the ports, the incoming ports, they have to accept only one argument. These will be converted into the command, and itself it will be the subscription. There is something off. Message, okay, not the comment, yes, but the message. Good, now we have the incoming port, and so we can subscribe to it and produce some message in response. Let's name it MIDI knob. Knob ID and velocity. Maybe it's not velocity but value, because they just represent the value there. With this, so now in our update function, we miss handling this message. So what was the name again? MIDI knob. It's better to name the messages as the verbs, but it will be so long to type, like MIDI knob change or something. Value, state, and we don't change anything yet because we have nothing for that in the state. So let's change our render state to store. We'll just replace probably the values when they're changed, so we will not keep tracking all the three knobs together, it will be just the last one changed. Yes, because it could not be defined, we change it to maybe, because there will be cases when nothing was changed here, and that's it. We even got this compiled, but we are not. We should store the value as well. It will be just ID and value, of course. Right, and we're not sending anything yet because we haven't connected this one to the port, and we haven't subscribed yet to this port. So let's do it one by one. Let me copy paste the port name. It will be ports. All the ports are here, and we will send the tuple in the JavaScript. In this case is represented as the array of two values. I hope it will work. Since we haven't subscribed to the port, Elm is smart enough not to include it in the code. So we need to subscribe. When we want to subscribe to several things, we just do this sub batch with array as an argument, and what was it? On MIDI, nope. On MIDI, nope. Call this message, passing the argument, and the argument is different this time. Let's change it to the tuple as well. Where is the message itself? Here. It's better to define types on the top of your module. But we did it differently in our case. So I hope it will work now. I reload just to be sure. There's no error anymore. And probably we have the values in the state already. Let's check it somehow. For now, just by moving the transform translate. by moving our spiral up and down, for example, or not, or left to right. We need to check if knob value is there, and if it is, we don't care about the knob for the moment, and maybe ever, but we care about the value, and it was from 0 to 127. So yeah, and if it's nothing, it will be just 0. Let's hope it works. Yes, it is translated just slowly, as you can see. I rotate the things and they're translated. We don't need to log it anymore. Let's multiply it by let's multiply it 1.5, for example, so it will be a little bit faster. Yes, and if we multiply it by 3, yes, so even faster, and we have some stop point, seems, because we translate them because of this translation, I suppose. So let's control the position with different knobs. For example, if the knob, now we need logging, it was 80. If the knob is 80, then we change X value. If it is something else, we may do it this way, then it is also 0. But since we don't care about the value as well, this case is also handled. And for Y position, we only change it if the knob is 81. So with the first knob, I move and translate the spirals on the x-axis, and here I translate them vertically, and I can do both as well. Let's go into our spiral renderer and try to change this thing, the unwrapping thing. Let's comment it. Yeah, they don't unwrap anymore. But actually we may leave it as it is and just multiply it by the value of the knob. let's name it KV, and KV will be state knob value. Same thing as before, just some value, no value, sorry, it was knob ID, we don't care which one. We return the value, and if it's nothing, then it is 0, and we have to convert the value to float, and add, or just divide it by 187. No, still have to convert it to float. Fair enough. Convert it to the thing, and not to translate them again, I will comment out this thing and will return 0 in this case as well, and 0 in this case as well. Or just remove this since we have tried what we wanted. So I'm a bit afraid, but let's move. Yeah, it works. So yes, since it doesn't reset on these cycles, and okay, so can we reduce? Oh no, we can reduce it to 0. It just getting in different directions. What if we? Oh, it gives this because it is multiplied by sinus. It gives this I forgot the name for the thing in English, but I think you get what I mean. So we have the animation. We can do it here, I suppose. Multiply by knob value, and then we'll go just in one direction. No, it still changes the. So it could be from -1 to 1, and then that's why we get this effect. Still, we were able to control things. I don't want it anymore. Stop. I removed the value. Yes. Slightly move. So I think this is enough for demonstration of how we may be able to control things with the MIDI controls, even with the physical stuff, and that is easy. It just took half of an hour to prepare that. let's play with some. Let's change it to the goose and replace it with the goose renderer. We'll see what it controls. In this case, it controls the same, just the thing we render is different. And if we take image, texture, alias, goose, and it will be image render. We do some transforms there, as I recall. So that's it. We even have these images there, and if I rotate the knob, the amplitude of the motion it does is increased. Let's check what transformations we have here. Yes, and remove this, for example. Sometimes. So we just unwrap this thing somehow. And the higher the value is, the further it is unwrapped. What if we remove scale? That's it. What if we move it back a little bit so that the animation will be in the center? Also nice. But if we will change it with the SVG goose, it will. I tried goose draw. Yes, it will. Is it responding? Yeah, it is responding, but the frame rate is very low because the SVG drawing SVG on canvas seems not to be perfect. I also forgot that I had this Highlander image. It's unnamed PNG, as I recall. And we were wondering what was it. So let's see. No, first let's try to reduce the number of items here. So yeah, it gets a little bit easier for the canvas to draw them, and if we make it 10, it will be kind of smooth, but we lose this nice effect of expanding still. So what is unnamed? Why don't you reload by yourself? There is no such file. Seems so. We haven't handled the. Oh, it was not PNG. Yes, that's what I thought. So yes, this is the Highlander, and we get the same effect here, just the different image. And since it's Highlander, we should probably replace this string render with the image render state texture alias unknown unnamed. And then if we have 100, where is our render? Sorry. Yes. No. Where was our draw canvas thing? Yes, here. I just missed it. This is why. So if there will be 100 of corner mag clouds, and we will use our Highlander render, it actually should be the same. Yes. So that's it. Thank you for being with me. I think we'll stop at that point. No more chapters. Enough. I will post the code on the GitHub and I will put the link down there, as usually people say. Thank you. As you see, Elm is awesome language. I hope I showed you how the types work visually in there and in functional languages in general. Also, I wanted to say that the things we do with the spirals are actually folding the list, so it can be done differently, these render items, with the call to list fold, but to replace it could also be a homework. But I don't like homeworks in general, so you're not obliged to do anything. I just hope that there is the spark of interest now in your heads. Thank you and bye. See you somewhere.